Hello and thank you for joining me on my colouring quest. So today I wanted to show you how I colour mermaid tails, and I want to start off in this book where I pretty much almost finished everything except for obviously their tails and tops, so I thought I'd finish those off, and then I might show you a different type of mermaid tail, because obviously these ones have the scales drawn in, but then it probably won't be in this book that I do it from, but some mermaid tails, you watch, I won't be able to find one now. Like this, some mermaid tails, they don't have scales, so you can sort of do them a bit more like that smooth look. I love this one, I do. I want to colour this one this month, but me saying that doesn't mean it's going to happen. So this book is the Colour in Heaven Mermaid Special for this year. So it is number 126 of the, like, this is would be like the subscription issue. It's the special, because obviously they've got the special, the collection, the compendium, and pocket size. So many versions now, but all great. So yeah, I just want to colour these to start off with, and yeah, I will zoom in a bit. Before I go on to the tails and that, I just have to say, I think this has to be like my favourite outcome for like skin that I've coloured in a long time, like on a colouring page and that. Like I just love how they both turned out, and yeah, just had to say that, like, so happy with how they turned out. So now I've got to try and not mess up the tail. For this girl, I am doing like bluey purples in the tail, and then for this girl, like reddy orangey, but each will have like a hint of a different colour. Like the bluey one's going to have a little bit of green in, and the orangey red one might have a little hint of pink, or I haven't really decided on hers yet because I've got the colours out ready for the blue one. So just bring you like this and we shall just get started. So I have my Faber-Castell Polychromos because that's what I've been using on this page. I have black and white to the side of me as always, and for blues, for the main blue, I have picked out the middle phthalo blue. It is what I consider to be a blue. You know, when you say I like the colour blue, this is a sort of blue I think of people like thinking of, even though there's like a million types of blue out there. And I did not sharpen anything, so bear with me just one moment. Yeah, so I sort of thought of this girl as the sort of sunset, and this girl as the night, like a sunset going into a night sky. But I don't know if she's going to end up like as dark. I think I need to get my dark blue out, but I'll see how it goes first. Because I also have the blue violet, which I used in her hair, as well as the light red violet. Oh my gosh, my throat just like suddenly went dry, although I am filming this like 20 minutes after I've woken up, so yeah, maybe not the best timing. Let me just get that dark blue out in case I do want it. I don't want the darkest blue, I think I think the Indanthrine Blue number 247 would be ideal. That's one more pencil to sharpen. Right then, let's get started. So, when I'm colouring a mermaid tail, as always, I tend to base with my main colour. In this case, it is that middle phthalo blue, number, 152. Sometimes it's really difficult to see whether the 5s are 6s when the light is shining on it. Gotta go around all the beads. Now with this sort of mermaid tail, there's a little bit of grayscale put in, so you can sort of see where the artist intended the shadows to go, which is always helpful. Right. And then I am also going to do this on her top because I want her to be a matching set. Right, so now I am going to want, like I said, some areas to have this bit of green in. So I have here the light green, number 171, and this area here didn't have the grayscale on, so I feel like this would be where the light would be hitting. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this in. Not very like accurately, just a little bit of that, and a little bit of Naples yellow, number 185. Just a little bit of that, and then when I know that this is right, later on I might add a little bit more of this colour. I'm gonna leave the top for now. I just put the blue on there to start with. So now I want a little bit of that light red violet, number 155. And I'm going to put this in more of the shadowed areas, but only on some of it. And very lightly. Okay, so now I'm going to take my two dark colours, so that would be that Indanthrine Blue 247 and my Blue Violet 137. Yes, that is a 3. And the ones that are blue, I'm going to go in those deeper scales with a little bit of this, but just, you know, where the scales meet at the top. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing videos like this for a while, like a how I colour sort of situation. Like, this isn't the only way to colour a mermaid's tail, like everybody has their ways, but I just want to share mine. And then, like, further into the future I might share how I colour something else. So I will probably make and put this in a sort of playlist, although this will be the only video in it for a while. Yeah, I just thought, because sometimes I want to colour a page, but I don't want to colour the whole of it on video. But I feel like there are aspects of the video that would be helpful to someone. So that is why I've decided, because this page took me quite a while, over a few days, to colour the rest of it. And yeah, like some areas I find I need to concentrate more on, and sometimes that's easier to do when you are not filming, but then sometimes I feel like it's easier when you are filming, which makes no sense. Right, so this blue violet over the area where I have just done that what was it, red violet, light red violet colour, I'm going to use that as my shadow colour. just so it will blend in a bit more, you know. So I'm going to do that down here for these ones while I have it in my hand, because there aren't many of these, are there? The ones over here. And I did a bit down here. So with polychromos, there's always a sort of layering, building up the colour situation. You do not want to press down hard with these pencils. Right, so now I'm going to go back to my Indanthrone blue and just carry on with all the blue ones that I've got. Oh, and I never even said, did I? This page is by Christine Karen and it's called Best Friends. I'm not really sure what I was doing with the background. It sort of ended up like a bit of a party. To start with, I was going to do it like underwater, and then I was like, I always do mermaids underwater. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to do something a bit more simple. And to start with, I just had blue dots, like with the black, and I was like, this needs more colour. It don't look right. So that's when I got out the rest of my Posca pens. Right, so this blue is going to go onto all of the rest of the scales, even the ones that have the green and that on. I know this is like a long process, but it's not difficult. Like, as long as you've got the patience to sit there and do it, then you're going to be fine. Again, I've only sort of mapped out my colours so you are not, like, the green isn't going to be everywhere by the end. It's going to be a lot of blue. That middle phthalo blue, was it? And then my white Posca pen will come in and play the part of adding the light. These have a lot of scales. And this one is hopefully going to turn out okay. It's always a way when you try and show people how you actually do something and you're like, why didn't this turn out the way it normally does? But so far it's going right. It's going on the right direction. I know these had the purple on, but a couple of them I think need a little bit of blue in. To go with the purple. How's everybody doing with their mermaid? I've picked out far too many pictures that I want to colour, and I know I'm not going to get to hardly any of them because obviously I'm going to lose a bit of time when I go on holiday, because the colouring book I'm taking with me on holiday is Carla Magana one, and it doesn't have mermaids in it. It's just like pocket sized, easy to travel. Right, so that is all of the Indanthrone blue added. So now I'm going to go back to that middle phthalo blue number 152. And I'm going to start with these darker ones because they don't have much light going to be hitting them, so it's just going to be a lot of blue. I might need to add black in a few places, but we will see about that after. And to start with, it may look a bit like meh, but I guarantee when I add that white Posca pen, the tail will come alive when I add black and white. It's always when you add the shadows and highlights that things start to look better. So do not fret. Yes, I am adding it into the ones I had purple on. The purple was just there to give it a different tone. So it is the same tail, it just gets different sort of colours hitting it. So when this is done, I might think, oh, I need a bit more green, or oh, I need a bit more purple. But like I said, this to start with was just a map. It helps me when I'm processing what I'm doing. You can notice I'm not going right up to the edge of the scales. I'm sort of leaving them. Yeah, I won't be doing a completed pages for April. I'm going to be doing a completed pages for April and May, because it's not that I didn't finish anything, it's just I know that this month I'm not going to probably get much done, like because of the holiday. And then like last month, what was it, 5 pages I think I did, which isn't bad. But yeah, I thought with this month I'm probably not going to get much done, so I'll just combine the two, make it for a decent length video. Because I like completed pages to be like 40 minutes to an hour sort of thing. And now you're noticing when I'm putting this on top of the yellowy green, you're getting a different colour, which is exactly what I wanted. And I'm not doing anything different, it's just the colour is changing when I'm going over the different colours of the map. This is very repetitive. But I like it. My eyes like it as it's coming together. As I'm seeing the colour shift in the tail. The weather is lovely here again today. Perfect washing, drying weather, which is good. I feel like I need to do them a bit more. I'm probably shaking the table. I'm like little concentrated areas of just swirly. I'm sort of doing my pencil in a round motion and I feel like I'm probably shaking everything. Right, so now I'm going to add some black because it is needed in certain places. So definitely within here, I'm going to deepen up those shadowed parts. And again, over basically where I did the darker bits is going to be the most like this bit here is starting to go behind, so I feel like that would get more shadow and that would get more shadow, so lightly going over with my black. Like, it won't look right to start with. Like, the colouring process is a very trust the process type of thing, isn't it? So you just have to trust that what you're doing is going to work. So all this sort of area is behind, well, going behind, which she would, if your light is coming in this direction, then you are going to have the shadow on her. Sorry about that, my pencil case fell on the floor. It's not something you want to have happening. I'm sure they're fine in there though, because they're in like their individual sections. Right, that's enough on that side, I think, for like a lot of shading. And then I'm just going to go in a little bit on them, sort of, but barely anything. So that wasn't full sentences, was it? That was sort of like one word here, one word there. But yeah, you can see how the black is slowly bringing it to life. Look around this side as well. There'd be more shadowing. Sorry about that. Where were we? Ah yes, black. So yeah, it will be shadows all over this side. Oh my gosh, my voice again. Note to self, don't wake up and decide to film straight away. But I'll at least finish her tail. And then I'll probably take a break. Oh, I do love how this is looking. Just lightly shading this over here. And like I said, then when I add that white Posca, that's when it will really come to life as well. Like you think each step, oh, is coming to life. And then you finally finish it and you're like, yep, that's what I was going for. Well, hopefully, you know. There's always exceptions. It's like whenever it comes to Mermaid, I want to colour a million mermaids. Not the Lulu Mayo book. I don't have that. But like I want to colour in general everything mermaids. And then I always end up getting like 3 or 4 done. And I'm like, oh, that didn't go to plan. So sometimes I end up going continuing into June for mermaids, like not focusing on them but still doing a couple, but sometimes you're like a little bit mermaid out, so you gotta say no more mermaids. But yeah, like in this book there's some that I think are very summery, so I think maybe I could get away with a few of them. No, this is the Colour in Heaven Mermaid special is always full of amazing, just amazingness, basically. Like I think I've bought all the Mermaid issues since I've started colouring that have been released. I don't know if I'm missing any, like if there was any from years previous, but they are always, I think they're all sold out, the previous ones, which is why I always pick up a Colour in Heaven if I see it and I like it, because if I'm like, oh, I'll wait a couple of months and I get it then, it may be gone. And yes, some of their issues are now available digitally, but not all of them. It's like a sort of issue to issue situation where I'm guessing they have to like sort things out with the artist, and I'm guessing because like the Mermaid issues, they have multiple artists, that I don't think they'll be available like digitally. I don't know, I could be wrong, but that's how it sort of seems to me. I think that's enough black. So now I'm going to get the light red violet again and go over some of those areas And yes, I'm going to lose a bit of that white, but again, Posca pen is coming in later. So I'm just going over lightly again. It's going to fill in some of those gaps, because it's still very sketchy, isn't it? Might add in a bit more, because again, the initial version was just the map. And over here, they are considerably darker, so sort of make it go into some of the other colours, because I think that is pretty. I'm just going to put a bit going down here, because why not? Right, and then I want the green. What green was it again? The light green, 171. Just go in certain areas. It's so pretty. And then the yellow, which was the Naples yellow, 185. Just on some of them. It will look a bit green as well, but a different green because of the blue. Obviously, when you do blue and yellow, you get green. And I do want to put like a bit of randomness into the darker areas, because it just to make it look like it's the same tail, if you know what I mean. And then the blue, the middle phthalo blue, I'm just going to gently smush over the rest. So just I keep wanting to move my book, and I'm like, no, I got to keep it where it is. So now this is sort of just blending them all together, and I know what you're thinking, why did you leave the white bits to start with? And I'm like, well, that was so I could get those colours back in without it just being on top of the blue. Look at this. Love it. Look at the blend. Now that's what I was going for. And now, Posca. Right, this will also look weird to start with, but some of this will get, like, after it's dried, I'll put a little bit of colour back on it. So I'm just going to go on like this. But you see, it just brings those scales out. Right, when I get to the sort of darker areas, I sort of just add a tinier bit, because obviously the area is darker and not as much light would be hitting it. But I still want a bit. but those are also the areas that will get that shadow of colour added after the Posca has dried. But it'll make it like lighter, but not white. It just saves me using different colour Posca pens. I smudged a bit in there. It doesn't matter, because I will go over it with a pencil in a minute. Some of these in the lighter area can actually have a little bit more white. Oh, I missed one there. I do that often though. Like I think I'm getting them all and then I'm like, wait, there's one there. Right, so now I just have to sort of wait for that to dry. Should I just go in and colour her top while it's drying? Let me just move it down slightly. So basically I'm just going to take the Indantha in blue. I want her top to be blue. I don't really want all the colours in it, because you know, probably wouldn't match completely, would it? So going in the shadowed areas. And then that middle phthalo blue. And then black, I need black. I'm like, what am I missing? And then I am going to add a little bit of that light red violet, just slightly, before I go over with a lighter blue. I can't remember what it's called, I got it out here. It is Sky Blue 146. Just going to go over that. You probably won't see that purpley colour very well, but it's in there and it makes a difference whether you realise it or not. Blend it all together. White in the lightest areas. more of that Indanthrone blue just to deepen up some of what got a bit too pale in my opinion. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of Posca to this. Just like a few dots here and there. Right, now that tail should be dry. Yes, I'm still in frame. I'm just going to take my middle phthalo blue again and just go over the darker bits gently. Like you can see that it's no longer white, but it is lighter than the rest. Just get half of those. I want it in here. That bit was where I messed up, so get rid of that a bit. And then over this side, some of those are going to be needing not so much white. And then just randomly go over a few, like that had too much. Like a bit in some of these. It just makes it not so harsh, like a difference. And I think that is her tail done. I like it anyway. Oh, and her top. I need to add this blue to parts of her top. Hopefully that was dry enough. Because this top bit I didn't want white, I just needed it lighter. And then I'll go over a few of them. And she is done. Lovely. I'll just zoom you out so you can see her properly. So she is done. I'm going to take a break and then I will be back later for this one. It'll be the same process though, but you'll see it in like the reddy oranges, and yeah, I know some people pick up things better when it's done in certain colours, so that's why I thought I'd do a blue one and a red one. Plus I don't use as much orange as I would like, and I think she would really suit orange, like that warmth sort of, yeah. So I'll be back in a bit. So next I will be doing this other tail in the reds and yellows sort of sunsetty colours. And so I have a deep red 223. I have cadmium orange 111. I still have that Naples yellow 185 because if I use like a light colour I try to use the same one so it at least makes the lighting look like it's been the same throughout. And then I have Madder 142 as a pink colour, and then I have black and white and my Posca. So it's basically going to be like this. So I'm going to start off shading it all over with the Naples yellow. I should have probably done it with the orange, but sometimes I find like the reddy yellow colours the easiest to sort of work with. Like that, this other tail has a more complicated transition for blending, I think, than like orange and yellow. It's like the only difference I'm doing is adding a bit of pink in places, isn't it? So I will add some of that, but it is a kind of reddy pink, so I might actually get a pinky pink. How funny does that sound? A pinky pink. This one looks very, very pink. It's called light purple pink, but it is definitely pink. Because that matters on the more of the reddy pink side, isn't it? So this is light purple pink 128. Let me just, yeah, that's more pink, isn't it? And obviously, like the other side, it's not all gonna be fully visible anyway. Just put a bit in places, it'll make it look pretty. Right, so and then I am gonna put some of this orange in just around it. The orange is the main colour here, and then the red will deepen it up. And then obviously the yellow is going to be quite everywhere. I just find this method of colouring like scales and that just easier. Like I could easily do this method on dragons as well, so I'm going to take a deep red and I'm just gonna, you know, do what I did on the other side. Although it has been a couple of weeks, if I'm honest, that I'm like, was this the method I was using? I hope so, because this is how I colour them, but sometimes I feel like I do the same things and then I'm like thinking back and I was like, no, I didn't do it that way. Because I don't follow like strict methods for when I colour something that's the same, but this is pretty much how I always do scales. I get my moments where I'm lazy and I don't add as many colours, and I'll just do it like one sort of, like instead of adding the pink and that, I would just use red and yellow, and the orange that the red and yellow would create on its own and blend them together. But yeah, because I like this page and I want to give it its attention that it deserves, I will be doing the method that I like. Again, when you get into the lighter areas, you don't need as much of the darker colours. I'll start over this side, because then I can easily see where to sort of stop. As predicted, I haven't completed many pages this month. Still have my holiday to go on, which is why I want to get this done. But then once I come back off holiday, it's not going to be long before the end of the month, so I might still have a couple of mermaids or mermen to finish off in June, which is fine by me, because only 1 month for mermaids is not long enough, in my opinion. But, so like 1.5 months is probably good for me. Yeah, because I have a new to me book, which I'm colouring a merman in. It's actually the Triton. Let me just show you. I really haven't done much on it. It's like just got some watercolour going on in the background so far, and it is this book. There. I don't want to zoom out or anything. So yeah. So hopefully I can get that one done as well, like probably June. And then, yeah, because the book I'm taking with me on holiday is a Carla Morgana, what's it called? Macaron sketchbook. So I've got it just behind me because I've been basing some of my pages with alcohol marker ready, so I only have to take a few pencils with me on holiday. I'm just taking my Posca pencils because I only have a small range of them, and I've been actually enjoying only having limited amount of colours, although I do plan to buy the rest of their colours, although there is only 36 in the whole set I believe at the moment. But yeah, I only have 18 colours. I have half because I didn't know if I was going to like them. Obviously I didn't want to buy the full set, so yeah. I am adding more of this red than I should be, but hey ho. I'm only doing it lightly now. I must remember that I've got to add it to her top as well, because obviously the other top on the other mermaid was a shell design and not the scales, so I was able to do that after. But because this is the scaly design on this one, I figured I will just colour it as a matching set sort of thing. I always wonder, like the mermaids, they're born with these tails, right? So they wouldn't be able to take it off and change it. So literally this top would have had to have been made to match her tail. Unless she is born with the top on, which isn't... I don't think that would be the case. Don't know, but yeah, they'd definitely be born with the tail, wouldn't they? Alright, that's enough of the red for now. I don't know if I'll need it again. But yes, it's looking pretty okay so far. So I've got my black. It's getting very tiny. So I'm just going to go in those ones again. This won't be on all of them. It just really makes it pop. Yeah, at the minute I've been finding that I would get home from work and I just feel knackered. I think one, it's been really hot and the heat really drains me, and two, obviously work is busy, so you've got stuff to do, and then I come home and I'm just wanna just wanna go to bed. I don't go to bed, but you know. And then you cook dinner. And then, yeah, on the days where I would normally film, in the week it's normally a Thursday, but yeah, I just haven't been feeling like it. Like this Thursday I didn't. I was just like, nope, not today. So I should have had this done by now, but yeah, just it's kind of fitting because it's a mental health awareness week. It was last week, and it's like, yeah, just take time for yourself. Don't worry about like getting stuff done. If you need to take the time, take the time. And yeah, so it was quite fitting for this week. Just neaten some of these edges up a bit because yeah, I don't think I went in fully with my paint. My Posca pens. Yeah, my black it's not the chunkiest one, but it's not the finest nib one either. Do a few more little dots of black here and there. Because it does. Look at how much more alive this looks than this. And you know it'll get blended out slightly when I add my other colours in, so it's okay to have a little bit of black. Right, I think that is gonna be enough black for now. Like I did with the other side, I will add a bit more shading in. Oh, I've got to do her top. Almost forgot. Very almost. That is going to be very shaded in there, so I'm not really worried about that bit. I also still need to show you how I colour different sorts of mermaid tails. I don't know if I'll fit that in today or if it'll have to wait. I'm hoping to do it today. It won't be on a page that's already got stuff done, it'll just be me colouring a random mermaid tail. Because I don't have any others started that aren't scaled. Right, so next I'm going to get that deep red back and just go over, you know how it is, those ones in the darker bits. So this is where it will start to come together. I do like the paleness of it, but it's not really what I was going for. Like, I want it quite vibrant. I'm gonna leave some of them a little bit less with the red so they'll get more orange on. Keep shaking the table again. I can't help it. It's when I'm trying to colour little details, I end up putting a little bit more pressure on, and then I end up wiggling the pencil. Like, I know I shouldn't, but then it just happens. So if it makes the camera wobble, I apologise. I don't know how much of that pink's going to be visible in this tail, if I'm honest, but it's not like it's my main concern. As long as it's got those sunset colours in, that's what I want to be showing. I just keep thinking to myself, so many scales. I'm just going to sharpen this a moment. Yeah, I really want to get this video up before I go on holiday. Mostly because I want to put something up before the end of the month, but in another way it's my phone that I'm going to be taking holiday photos on, because I don't really want to take my full-on camera with me this time. It just takes up space and it's heavy, and yeah, I'm just like, I just want to use my phone. So I want to, I mean, I've got plenty of room on my phone for space, but videos take up a lot of room, so it'd be nice to have this done so I can then get rid of it, ready for holiday stuff. Right, that's enough of the red. I'm adding too much of it. Right, now to the orange, which I think is going to be my favourite part. So pretty. Again, in places I'm going to leave a little bit because I want to add the yellow in. Oh, I didn't do the top with the red. Oh well, I'll come back to it. I've got the orange in my hand now. It's orange time. I don't know if using that yellow is going to be a good idea, or if I need like a brighter more vibrant one for this? We'll soon find out. I think I need a more vibrant one. It's okay for those shadowy areas, but in the middle here I want something more vibrant. Right, so I've got here light cadmium yellow, 105. I'm hoping this will be a bit more, it sounds silly, but a bit more yellow. And if you haven't noticed, I've just taken out the pink idea altogether. I'm just going sunsetty fire, because I think the pink will just look too much like red when it's with all the rest of the colours. If you can't see how pretty this is, like, I love it. Just fire. Don't forget, I still have to add some shadowing with the black and add my Posca white places on the scales, like I did with this one. Right, let's go back and do the top, because what was I thinking? This is going to be mostly shadowed, so because she's got so much going on, that would be covering her up. Whereas on this side she might have a little bit more visibility. Orange. Do you not just think it looks so pretty when you add the other colours over the top? And the yellow. It seems so easy. Right, so now the black I'm just going to lightly glaze over. Is glaze the right word? I feel like it is the right word. Where there would be more shadowed areas. So I'm not pressing down hard, which is why I've got my pencil on the side. I feel like this gives you more control over how light you are pressing, but it did not help me in actual control of the pencil at the bottom there. And then in her top, like I said, that part would be very shadowed, and so with this, it's like you're glazing over the colours and it just adds a shadow to it, which I think is perfect for this sort of detailing. Right, where is my rubber? I actually got one of these Faber-Castell Perfection pencil rubbers with the brush on the end. Like, so maybe I will try that, see if that will get rid of this mark down here. I've not really, I did sharpen it, which I think I may have sharpened it too much. But it is working. And then you're supposed to just sweep the brush. Well, it got rid of it, so hey ho. There's a bit of pink there. Well, probably red. I keep going to brush it with my finger because that's what I'm used to. Well, it works. Right. So now the white Posca. And then again, when the Posca dries, I will just go over it like I did on some of them on the other tail. That will either be with the yellow or the orange, I haven't decided yet. Just add a few dots in those darker ones because you won't be able to see it as well. Always miss them, so I'm just looking. That one down there and that one. Gosh, you feel like you're getting them all, but then they just, you take a sort of little look back and you're like, well, my eyes can see that now. Enough Posca on the tail, I think. And then just the top. But again, it's not. Has anybody else got any holidays planned soon or in the summertime? Because I literally, it's all that keeps going through my brain, like a little happy dance in my head about going on holiday. And I have the yellow that I'm gonna go over. I need to wait for that to dry a moment. Okay, that should be dry by now. Where's my yellow gone? Here we are. So I'm just gonna lightly go over so they're not so white. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it just makes it look like it blends instead of it being a sharp line. Like you can still see the white there, but it's not so white anymore. Done. Like, that's it. My fiery tail done. And that is the page done as well. So let me just zoom out if it's gonna let me. Oh, too far. Should be about right. Like there is light coming from all different angles. Let me just see if that's actually better without my light on. So, yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it. Like when you can actually see it without the light making it glary. Look at the tails. Love them. Love, love, love. Like, there is nothing that I don't like about that. So, on to the next mermaid tail. So for this next tail, this is a plain tail, so no scales. It does have some accessories. This is from the Little Mermaid special of Colour in Heaven. Illustrations by Fabiana Treyer, or Trere. I'm not sure of which way to say it, or if that is even a way. So yeah, since this is supposed to be the Little Mermaid, I am going for that sort of emerald green tail sort of colour, but I haven't looked up a picture or anything, so as long as it's in the greeny sort of range, I'm not bothered, because I'm also not bothered about colouring each page in this book to look exactly like the Disney story. Yeah, basically that is it. So I'm going to zoom in now and just get started. Oh, and for this page I have switched out Faber-Castell polychromos because I thought, well, maybe not everybody has them. Also, maybe not everybody has the Black Widows either, but that is what I'll be using. Except for my white, that is still the Faber-Castell polychromo, because I just realised that my Black Widow white is very, very tiny, so hard to use while on camera. I will still get some use out of it normally, but yes, not today. So yeah, I'll just zoom in. Okay, that should be fine. So in the Black Widows, I have for my colours Emerald 120, and that is from the Monarch set. And also from the Monarch set, I have Green Slime number 52, and then Black Widow black. And as I said, my Faber-Castell polychromo is white. So yes, I'm going to go all over with a base layer of the green slime, avoiding all of the shells and little accessories. I really like how she does her illustrations, like whether it's this book or any of her other ones that she's featured in a few of Colour in Heaven magazines, which is where I discovered her illustrations. That's one thing that I love about these magazines. Like, you never know who they're going to have in their next issue. Like, it could be anybody, from somebody well known to somebody that you've not come across yet, and I just love that. Like, especially when I was first started colouring, like, you didn't know anybody, so it was great. So yeah, this isn't going to be a difficult process. Like, I think this is fairly simple tail to do as well. So now I'm going to take my emerald and sort of go in those more shadowed areas. This is a very pretty colour. Whether it's the right colour for Ariel's tail or not, I do like it. And I do find the Black Widow pencils quite easy to blend in to each other, especially when obviously you still have to pick colours that will somewhat go together, but yeah, I think these two colours definitely go well together. I'm only using a light pressure anyway. I use a light pressure with all of my pencils. I prefer to build up, even if some people say it's not necessary for some pencils, that you can just sort of go in, and yeah, I like to start off light. So I'm just sort of leaving little spots that I wish to be lighter. So obviously this is going to get darker. So on this part of the tail it's got a bit of a curve, so I thought I'd add a bit of a highlight in there, which is something that you don't do if you've got the scales, because you sort of add little highlights to each scale, don't you? So, but this is more of a how to say it, like the pencil colour. They look a bit more slimy. They look, yeah. I don't know if that's what they would actually feel like. I'm guessing not. I'm guessing, because you know, like snakes look like they'd feel slimy, but then they don't feel slimy. Worms feel slimy. I'm just adding a little bit darker just to see if I got it in the right place. I think I want a bit more darkness sort of on this curve. Could be wrong about that, but for now I think I'm happy with it. And then in the tail, the actual tail fins. Yeah. Oh dear. I may go over all these black lines because I want her tail to be quite light. But yeah, this tail shouldn't take too long. Tails with scales take longer. Ooh. I liked how that sounded. Tails with scales. For me anyway, I don't know. Other people's techniques might be faster. But again, this is just how I like to colour them. There is no right or wrong way. I just see people sharing their ways and I'm like, oh, I'll share my way. Even if like one person watches it, it's worth it. That's also why I kind of wanted it done before the end of May, because people are colouring mermaids in May and they might not, they're probably more interest in watching a mermaid video in May than any other month, so that is why it's now. Right. So now I'm going to get, see, now I don't know whether to use a black or just a darker green, because I don't know what I'm doing with the rest of the page. Normally I would have done the background first. Yeah, she's sitting on a rock under the water, but then she's got this decoration here. So I feel like the background is probably going to be a dark blue underwater situation. Let me just have a look at my Black Widow colours. Right, I've decided not to do the black at this point. Like once I see this, then I may be able to see a bit more. I have chosen Sabre from the Dragon set number 151. It's a very, very dark, dark bluey, grey green. So I figured it's a good substitution for the black. And then I may add black in like the deepest parts. But yeah, this looks like it's blending nicely with the colours I've already chosen, so that is a good sign at this very time. Why do I end up kind of rhyming? So yeah, picking out colours is a very oh my gosh, now I can't even find words. It's a process that's necessary. So if I do that, and if I just have my emerald green, so I can sort of blend it as I go, that might be good. I just moved it then, let me make sure I'm still okay. Yes, that am. This is a very pretty colour anyway. But like I said, I will keep little sort of areas like this as I go along where some light could possibly be hitting. Like I said, I have no light source from my surroundings at the moment, so I'll have to sort of reverse what I normally do and add lighting in as I go afterwards, if that makes sense. Probably not. Didn't make sense in my head. Right, because you'd have shadows from her, I want to call it her skirt, it's probably classed more as a belt. There's probably a proper word for it, but I don't know that word. Just get this again. See how I've left that gap there? That is a bit of my light. Is why I start off with that light layer of the green slime, because that's what I'm blending it into. And then I can see if I need any more of the darker colours as I go along. Like some dark within the light can help define a little bit of texture. Even if there's no scales, it would still have some sort of texture, wouldn't it? I feel like it needs to be darker at the top here. And the sun has just gone behind a cloud, which is a little annoying because I don't want to change my lighting and then the sun come back out again and I have to change it again. You know? I feel like that looks a bit better blended now. So if I go down and start blending this bit out. I feel like this part of the tail is going to have a lot more light on it. So to start with, I'm going to start putting in my my emerald, and then I will add a bit more of the sabre where necessary. Obviously this still takes time, but I feel like it's a bit more free colouring this type of tail than the tails that already have the scales. I swear the amount of times I've said tails and scales and my brain likes it every single time. Tails and scales. Scales and tails. Sorry for weirding you out. Obviously I could do like I did on the other tails and add the other colours in, like a bit of blue, a bit of yellow, a bit of this, a bit of that, but because I don't see this page having colourful light sources, I am just leaving it with the greeny white. So yeah. Like if she was on the surface and there was the sun and the sky and some different surroundings, then I might have, or if there was something else that I thought was going to be colourful in the page, but I just see this as sort of blues, greens. Obviously I probably will give her the red hair, but other than that, I think it's gonna be a lot of blue. That's if even I come to this page and colour any more of this yet. This it's not going to be at the top of my priority list, I will just say that. And like I said, I want the tail to stay quite pale. Oh my gosh, tail and pale as well, it sounds good. Weird today. I'm weird every day, but today my brain's having a field day. I'm just adding a slightly darker bits here and there. But like I said, once I add that white Posca over those lines, a lot of this colour is going to sort of fade out. Which is why I'm not worried about adding too much dark, because it will still look light. Plus I haven't added the white yet, so you know. So now I'm going to add this sabre into some of this tail. Not too much though. It is helping with the texture though, isn't it? Just little bits. I feel like up here needs to be a bit darker, because it does have so much of that accessory. I just call it something else each time. Accessory belt, skirt, cape for the waist. Near the tail it's going to have more of this dark, so let me start over here again. I just said that like the whole thing isn't the tail. No. Everything's normal here. Not me, but... At least I'm happy. My brain isn't the sharpest all the time, but I'm happy. Right, back to the emerald. It needs a bit of a sharpen. Right, now just blending those darker bits out, well, smushing it sort of in, should I say. Smushing it in, smushing it out. And I am jiggling the table again. Of course I am. Now that I'm not using such as lighter pressure. The sun never did come out from behind that cloud. It must be quite a big one. Like I said, we've been having some glorious weather. I do find it funny though that the day that I'm going on holiday, it's supposed to rain. Like, I don't know how much, it just says rain. It'll probably change by then anyway. The weather here changes so frequently you can't look ahead too far. Normally you can look at it on the day and you'll be okay 90% of the time at knowing how it's going to be. Sometimes that is the odd change still though. English weather and all is unpredictable, especially if it's windy. If it's windy, the weather changes too much because it's harder to predict how the wind's going to stay, how fast it's going to blow those clouds on through. Right, I like that. So now I am going to take my white polychromo and blend these lighter bits. And then we'll see how we are. Do I need to add a bit of black into those cornery bits? Yeah, I think I will, if I'm honest. I can't help myself, I always have to add a little bit of black even if it's not my main shadow colour. I'm only thinking though because when I just said about the background, I'm like, this is underwater quite deep, so I think having a bit of a darker shadow in places might be a good idea, so it looks okay once I've added in the background, else I'd have to come back to it. And I don't like coming back to parts of the page that I already feel like I've completed, unless I've missed something, like an ear. How many times do I miss an ear and have to go back? It is quite bad actually. Right, the tail, I'm just turning my pencil to the side and fanning it out over. See, now I don't know, do I really want to use the Posca over those lines? Or will that be too much? But then I want to. So indecisive. No, I think I'm going to. I think it will look good after that dark background's put in. Right, let me go over these lines. Like, some of it might not be as visible. But like I said, I can see it, so when that dark background goes in, it'll be good. It will pop. This is a lot of lines though. It's like, sometimes I think it's good to see how long it takes, because then it doesn't put anything in anybody else's brain thinking, oh, it only took me 2 minutes. when it really took me 10. Because sometimes if you watch like videos that, like the shorts that are like, they're sped up and it seems like it gets done so fast, and then you try to do it and you're like, yeah, I really misjudged how long this was going to take. I don't watch many shorts, if I'm honest though, for that particular reason. They're just too fast. I do like real-time videos. Because if I'm colouring for like 1 or 2 hours, then I like a longer video to have, to watch, to listen to, without having to change what I'm doing, because that can sometimes knock me out of concentration if I've got to change what I'm watching. It could take like 5 minutes if I can't find anything straight away. Normally I go through the newer released videos that I subscribe to people, but sometimes it's not a video that I would want to watch. Like, I don't really watch reviews of like pens and that, unless it's something that I've heard about and seem interested. But if it's something that I already sort of know about, then I'm not going to watch that. They're great for when you start out, but now that I've sort of found what I like to use, I don't watch as many anymore. I used to watch quite a lot. That's why I have things that I don't use sometimes. But yeah, now I have some things that I still have things that I want to try, but I already know about them, and I've already watched like reviews and seen people using them. I just need to sort of save for them, like buy them when it's the right time, which is probably going to be like Black Friday sales. That's why I keep looking at the prices now, because then I know if the Black Friday prices are actually cheaper, because sometimes they are not cheaper at all, and they only make it seem cheaper because the week before they had them at a higher price. So always keep an eye on your prices. It's like when you go shopping for food and it says that it's like so much off, but you bought it like 2 weeks ago at a cheaper price than what they're selling it at now. It's like, why are they allowed to do this? Sorry, I did just pump my pen. I always do that away from my colouring page ever since I pumped it once and it made a blob on my page, and I was like, oh crap, I pumped that too much. I'm not worried that I can see some of the lines through a little bit, where I wasn't quite as accurate as I should have been, because sometimes that just adds a little bit of shadow, a little bit of texture. Love a bit of texture. And it also makes you able to see the tail that is still there, like the outline of it. Oh gosh, I went wobbly then. What is wrong with me? Like these end bits are going to be hard to see. And then what I'll do is, you see this bit here, that will get the pencil over it to help it blend into it. Because obviously at the moment it looks a little bit ridiculous. But this is my process, as you saw with the scale tails. I use a white Posca and then it's easy to add the colours I'm using over. That's why I use so much white Posca and I don't buy every single colour known to man. I do have a few colours. I have a few of like the original colours and I think it was like pastel shades and then black and white. But since I've found that you can shade over the white quite easily, yeah, I do find, unless it's for a specific thing I want that colour that I have in the other pens, it's just easier to have a white. I'm gonna fan that out a bit so that when I do put the pencil on the top, it blends in a bit smoother. And then I am actually going to do, in those lightest bits, a few white dots. So it's like the light has hit it a bit more, give it a little bit of shine. So I'll just wait for that to dry a moment. Okay, so I'll just go over with that emerald colour, lightly over this, and as you can see it's even easier with these softer pencils than the polychromos. Just going into that, so pretty, and I'm just going to shade over that a bit. So pretty, love it. A couple of places I feel like needed a bit more shadow, but not much. Just helps, doesn't it? And like I said, once that background's in, that tail will look a lot better than it does now. So that is how I colour a non-scale tail. Although I will say with each tail I would colour it slightly different, like I said, different colours in it, and I might not add as many of the highlights if the situation is like they are in a dark location with no light source at all. It might be a bit more solid, but yeah, I could be here all day colouring different tails and they'd be very similar. I think I've shown you my two main ways of colouring tails, so I am going to leave it here for this how I colour mermaid tails video. So if there is anything else you want to see me colour specifically how I colour, yeah, feel free to leave a comment. I can't guarantee that I will be able to show it anytime soon, or if I have enough pictures with those sorts of things in to be able to show you, because obviously mermaid tails, they're quite big in pictures, so it's easy to focus and show how I colour, but if it's something small then it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But yeah, if there is anything, just let me know. And yeah, happy mermaid colouring. I wish I had time to colour more mermaids, because I have so many beautiful mermaid pictures, it's quite ridiculous. Like in this book alone, and then obviously all the other mermaid Colour in Heaven books. Oh, I wish I could colour one in the Camilla de Araco mermaid books, but I don't think I'm even going to get round to that this year. Normally I colour one every year from that sort of book, or like Camilla de Araco's books I'll pick a mermaid. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to get around to it this year. but that is okay, as I did finish that one, was it last month or the month before, so that's okay. So yeah, and sometimes I would also add like some glitter in the tails, but with this page I don't think she needs the glitter on her tail. So yeah, until next time, thank you for joining me on my colouring quest, and goodbye.